In a forward head posture, when you come into extension, it compresses the neurovascular structures, including the cranial nerves, down into the posterior occipital atlantal membrane. And what we want to get rid of is this forward head posture where the OA has to cock back to level the eyes. And so this technique, there are many techniques to treat this problem. This one just happens to be the simplest. And since I'm a simple kind of guy, I like to use the simplest thing possible. So what I do is I just bring him up. Actually, the last technique we just did with the suboccipitals has already helped release that, because those are the muscles that are usually causing the condyles not to slide back. You remember that the AA condyles, the atlas axis condyles, are both convex. That's unusual in the body. Their surfaces are convex. Now the OA is a convex surface on the occiput and a concave surface on the atlas. So therefore, rotation and side bending occur to opposite sides. It's a type 1 coupling in the OA joint. So what that means is that we have to first check in neutral, and a lot of people can't let their head go to do this. We see how much extension they have and how far the chin can come down into flexion. This is in neutral. Flexion, extension. You begin by just checking neutral. If they're bad in this, if they can't come down, if their chin can't come down in neutral, you know you've got a massive dysfunction. So I get in here where I've got a nice firm grip on his, right at the, my thenar eminences are right at the mastoid process, and then I just have a gentle decompression, and when I do, I ask Luke to gently bring his shoulders up toward his ears. So Luke, gently bring him up. When he brings him up, I resist, and now let him down, and I keep a traction. We lock out the lower cervical vertebrae, the typical cervical vertebrae, ligaminously lock those so that all the motion that we have is at the atlas axis right now. But it's very tricky. You have to be sure to keep the head in a straight, like as if it has a pole through it, and gently go and see if there's a restriction barrier. And we had Luke's bias was to the left, and I still feel a little restriction here on the right. You can come over the sternocleidomastoid, which in some people you do want to come over and push down. In Luke's case, I don't. I want to go under the sternocleidomastoid, and I'm just taking a couple of fingers, and I'm coming up on top of the anterior tubercles of the transverse process of the cervical vertebra. The next one is OA distraction. Side bend the head right while pulling up on the atlas TP on the right. Now this is a funny little thing that I will demonstrate on a skeleton to show you, so you'll be able to see what I'm actually doing. But you're sliding your fingers all the way up till you meet right under the mastoid process. You'll feel the transverse process of the atlas. It's the only transverse process in the cervical spine that you'll feel till you get down to C7. So there it is. What I do is I side bend to the right and I pull up on the right of the transverse process. Side bend to the left, pull up on the left. Side bend to the right, and I just do this. I kind of just wiggle it. I'm pulling the fascia. I'm not digging on the vertebral artery. Right now, I've got an extension restriction. This person can't extend back. He's flexed forward. So basically, I want to come into the lower neck, obviously, because they're the ones that slide forward. They're the vertebrae that get caught into flexion in the forward head posture. So you come in, and it's a motion that looks like this, using your body weight. You pull, you're asking for rotation. I'm coming all the way across underneath and hooking my fingers and pulling. I finish every routine with, no matter what the people come in with this. I do a semispinalis stretch, ask Luke to push his head back against my resistance, and I'm pushing on his shoulders. I push on the shoulders, and he relaxes. I come in, And I keep my right hand on his shoulder. I come over here, and I take my left hand and come over here and ask him to turn his head to the right. He turns his head right. I resist and relax. And that is, okay, turn your head to the right. Let me have you go over to the right now. And we're going to come over and stretch. He's going to go left, and I'm going to resist him turning left. And I'm bringing him into more right side bending. Relax. More right side bending, right rotation. Then 3 huge circles.